Wow, wow. I don't want vagina abs to stick. That sounds so awful.
Daddy, what's that?
Cyborg, I want to point out that you can't say the word wolf. You said night wolf before, and it's pissed me off ever since.
No beta code. I'm surprised.
Not bowing down to the con. That's a paddling.
Hey, Cyrax boy, guess what?
Who the fuck doesn't like Yoshi?
I don't like Yoshi.
What the fuck?
Yoshi.
How do we feel about Tremor? Because I gotta say this. I want to see him come.
Yes, but it's because I'm actually peeing in a bucket at the bottom of my seat. So like,
Nitara's design.
You know, you're saying Nitara again.
Oh shit, thank you.
Just let go.
I'm on so many drugs at the moment.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Alright, well, I'm done being serious. We can talk about the taste of cock again. If that's what you guys want to.
Wait, what?
This is my fucking ass hanging out. What, bitch?
Are we
Guys,
even
not
recording right
understand-
now?
We're not recording, of course not. Nobody's gonna listen to this.
I hear like the sound of like bullets being loaded into a chamber and like shots being fired.
Is it like an air gun? I don't.
I'm hearing like Russian roulette like right up next to the mic. What's going on? Yep. Definitely taking shots with a rifle.
Welcome back to the Nethercast. I am Cyborg. I am joined, as always, by Temp, Razor, and Shad. And you have joined the Nethercast. Nethercast 76, to be exact. And we have just seen, earlier this week, the reveal of Fighter Pack 2 for Injustice 2. So now we have revealed our next set of DLC fighters. So that is what we're going to be discussing today. We've got Raiden, we've got Black Manta, and then the third to be revealed in the trailer, we have Hellboy. So let's get into it, fellas. Guys, my doodads, my planktons, let's go. What do you got?
Who did you want to do first?
Let's just go in order. It's basically going in order from least interesting to most interesting, probably. But we'll.
Honestly, let's look at the people we know about that we knew about first, because I think the biggest topic of discussion is going to be the character. Maybe some people were expecting, but not really. The one no one really called.
Still want to start with Manta then?
I want to start with Manta.
Okay.
Okay, we can start with Manta.
Yeah, okay, let's do Manta then. All right, I'll get my Manta thoughts out of the way here. Manta, for me, obviously I got tired of people like being annoying about him, but in terms of him actually being in the game, I think that's great. I'm glad that he's got a presence. I'm glad that Aquaman has more of a presence in the game with his characters. He looks okay in terms of appearance. He's very slimmed down and bare bones, which is good. I'm glad he's not like all decked out in a ton of armor. So he's one of the designs in the game that's actually pretty minimalistic, at least at its base form. I'm glad that they kept the helmet pretty simple, and yeah, he's okay. He's got a spear gun or a harpoon gun, and he's got some rockets on him and noises.
I like the noises. They remind me of Sector and Cyrax. I keep saying this is what Sector and Cyrax... Like, bring back the MK3 noises. I don't want to hear them talking words anymore.
I do like noises.
I don't mind noises, but these particular noises remind me of like 95% of bass dropping movie trailer effects.
They do sound like a Bayformer. I will admit that.
Just a little bit. And the guy can talk. So I mean, if we have to have someone talking and not like just let's keep Black Manta talking and like let's as you say, let's leave the sound effects to the Cyber Ninjas. I hope to hear his voice, and I hope he's just not making like from Miramax Films noises throughout the entirety of the fucking like. What I'm saying is, you know. I mean, between the noises and like the rocket launcher, I was like, is this a robot for like a couple of seconds? Why is there an actual Bayformer in this? But for real, no hate. I do like the general overall look at him. It's kind of tough because he's mostly completely black.
You know how they narrate
their panel looks pretty cool.
You know how they narrate their own endings? During Black Manta's ending, it's just like the sound of a fax machine.
It's a 56K modem.
Yeah, it's the AOL login.
Somewhere in the background, Shia LaBeouf. No. No, but for real. I was worried that the head proportion would be kind of out of whack and stupid because Black Manta is kind of a tricky guy to get right. He always looks cool, more or less, but that head of his can inflate to gargantuan proportions depending on the depiction and the artist. It can be like a football resting upon a pinhead, and it looks good, it looks believable, but it's still got that distinct oval shape to it. You know, you can't have Black Manta without the oval shape to it. It looks, and I can't believe I'm saying this, like the proper proportions that a stupid sideways football helmet would look if a person were to wear it.
Hey Arnold. Yeah.
So, kudos to them. It looks good. Yeah.
Maybe he'll have a Hey Arnold premiere skin.
That would be sick.
That would be so awesome.
I'd buy it.
Dude,
I'd pay $2.99 for that shader.
Yeah, that would be so amazing. Move it.
I look forward to the
football head.
variants in football helmets and Hey Arnold helmets that we'll be able to get in the game.
Gerald comes in and they do that weird little finger thing. Woo! Okay, I'm having a time.
I dig it.
The forearm pedal's a nice touch too. It adds a very much needed touch of red elsewhere on the body, and it's not just the eyes. It's good.
We can also get a double bang for our buck and get a Stewie Griffin premiere skin.
Dude, that would be legit. His head's a football.
Yeah, they're both footballs. They have that in common.
Oh.
All right.
So I mean, that's it for my thoughts about Black Manta. I was surprised about the rocket pack, but if it rounds him out, I've never known him to actually use rockets, shoulder rockets or anything. But if it rounds him out and gives him more to work with, no issues. It's cool to me. Bring him on. Forward seeing him.
He's got to be another hybrid zoner. We got to have another one of those.
Yeah, no, of course. Even though Smoke Man made it very clear he's never really used missiles outside of the cartoon, I think is what he told me. So another zoner is a little off. I would not have asked for that, but yeah. Well, I guess I'll go into my thoughts. He looks good. He's rendered very well, but during the actual trailer when I saw it for the first time, I didn't really have much of a reaction. Like, we've known for so long that he was in the game that it did very little for me. At least Raiden, we didn't really know what it was going to look like. But Manta's a fucking stage transition. We all know what he was going to look like. Maybe there's a few details different. Maybe they changed the gear up, but it looks like Black Manta.
I would have been shocked if he's like an actual Manta.
Yes.
Dude, I am pleased he is Black Manta and not Ocean Master. I can't believe people actually thought Ocean Master was a candidate for inclusion in this game. Fuck you.
Well,
sit in a
as maybe
corner.
A premiere skin was what I would have thought, because Ocean Master's fighting style is literally exactly what Aquaman already does. He revolves entirely around the trident.
As a skin, sure, but as an actual DLC character, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, so when Black Manta was revealed for me, all I was thinking of was, thank God they didn't gear him up. You know,
it's streamlined.
Like, you guys are talking about how nothing about him was a surprise. It was a surprise to me that they didn't ruin him.
Ouch.
That's my genuine
What
feeling.
a lovely backhand compliment.
And we will talk more about art style thoughts when we get to the third character, because I have some stuff to say about that. Not complaining, but just in comparison to the existing art style of the game. But
okay,
I'm glad Manta looks like Manta.
So that's Black Manta. We got our Black Manta there. That would leave next Raiden. So he wants to kick us off with Raiden.
Will it be possible for you to add cursing bleeps for humorous effect during post-production?
Absolutely.
Can you do this? Okay. So I'm just going to say a bunch of things now. These things might not actually make a lot of sense as sentences, but holy cheese with a knobgoblin ding dong. Mother the shit. What am I looking at? It's like you just scrubbed the sides of my with a rusty texture and squeezed the out of my mouth.
Damn.
Just fuck, man. I'm generous, but I don't think I've ever seen a more miserable failure of a costume than what they gave Raiden here.
We
What
definitely
the
bleed for sure.
fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, I think you crossed the line on that one, to be honest with you.
That was harsh. That was harsh.
I don't know. I've heard
I'm not
both.
racist. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that word being used on the podcast.
Fucking hell, what is wrong with you? Did you do this, Jim Lee? Did you do this? Sit in the fucking corner.
So here's what I don't understand. So I feel like when they adapt these MK guys to the Injustice games, they're trying to make them look more like they fit in the universe, like more superhero-y or supervillainy or whatever the case may be for that character. For example, putting a cape on Sub-Zero. Raiden is one of the few characters in the entire MK universe who, like a superhero, actually covers his chest and arms. Why the fuck would you take his shirt off? What is going on there?
It looks wrong, for sure.
Does he have, like...
He looks like a male stripper dressed as Raiden.
Yes! With, like, bear talons on his feet! Fuck is going on? I'm looking at this and I'm trying to understand and I can't. I
didn't know the bear... You're right, he does have fucking bear talons. I never fucking noticed that before.
Every bit of this offends my eyes on a different level. Nothing about it works properly.
I actually like the bear talons. That actually elevates it for me a bit.
It really is for me. It's like, you know, at Halloween where there's like the sexy nurse. There's the
this is
whatever. This is the male stripper version of a Raiden outfit. That's exactly
the luscious
sexy
undergun.
Raiden with bear talons and like he doesn't have a cape, does he? I'm looking. I'm tilting my screen to make sure he doesn't have a cape, but he has like some sort of weird cloak thing over his shoulders that maybe tapers off into his back.
He has a thing that covers his neck. It's like I have seen this on male strippers before. That's what makes me think of that.
There's just these gigantic shoulder pads that aren't fucking attached to anything.
It's chaps for arms. That's what that thing is.
I just fucking Christ. This is the worst piece of shit I've ever fucking seen. I don't normally care about this shit. MK9 Scorpion was covered in scorpions, and I didn't care that much. It was ugly, but I gave it a pass because it was a stylistic choice. I could design better than this. This is dog shit. This is horrible. What are you doing?
I feel like they knew everybody was going to hate Raiden anyway. So now they're just trying to troll. Like, even the people who like Raiden are not gonna like this Raiden. That's the goal. That's what's on the game design document. Make even Raiden's fans unhappy he's in this game.
I'm looking at this and I'm hearing everybody dance now, but it's a bear singing it instead.
That also doesn't sound bad. Like, that actually, I don't know if that's analogous. I could go for that. You're right. I do agree that Raiden doesn't look good. Really, to put it briefly, it looks loud. It looks very loud. From the Elton John goggles to the fucking shoulder pads that need to be fucking brought down like 8 notches to the fucking
I haven't even fucking covered the goggles.
Like, I like the philosophy of, if we're going to bring Raiden to the game, we really have to do something crazy. If you're going to do something crazy with Raiden, Injustice might be a good place to do it. But they went halfway, and it just looks weird, awkward, and sexy. I don't really know what to say about it. Yeah, and I'm indifferent on Raiden. I know people who really wanted him in this game, so if they're happy, I guess I'm happy. I don't really intend to play him unless the gameplay looks really cool, but, yeah, I don't know. Like, what's up? Go on.
This is a walking advertisement to get more gear and make him look better.
Pretty much.
Maybe, but if we can't put a shirt on Aquaman, I don't think we're going to turn off the weird nipple stuff for Raiden. I honestly think it's there by design. Well, with Sub-Zero, it was pretty open. They made a pretty open gear system for Sub-Zero. Actually, like that is my favorite part of the gear system is Sub-Zero. Like, I've actually had a lot of fun making different variations of bad Sub-Zero, and it's been a blast. I can't wait to show you guys. But yeah, so Raiden, like I said, this whole combat pack in general, I didn't have much of a reaction to. I don't really feel strongly about any of it. I'm not happy or sad, but Raiden does look really weird, and I had a feeling everyone was going to be super, like, overcharged on just how weird and strange and unorthodox he looks. And it's definitely not my pick. I would have gone more drastic. Like, I would have taken the shirt off and make him look like a martial arts warrior who also has, like, god powers. Like, that would have been a departure. Give him, like, the long Christopher Lambert hair, take his shirt off, give him, like, the Japanese robe. Like, that would have been tight, right? The Deadly Alliance kind of alternate costume.
You know what?
Would have been cool.
I'm okay with that. It's not the fact that his shirt's off that's wrong. It's just that his shirt's off and it's like stupid sexy Flanders up in here. It's fucking weird.
Like, he's
body bad.
He's still wearing the parts of a shirt that a male stripper would wear. I'm not going to talk
it's not
it's too spot on.
The skin is fine. It's the Fabio beat that's making it weird.
He's got chaps on his upper body.
That's all I got for Raiden. He looks weird and sexy.
Feels like
goofy.
Feels like Johnny bought a car. Johnny bought a car. Johnny bought a car. Anyway,
Raiden.
Not in a good way.
All right, here's my thoughts. I love it.
Of course you do.
I'm just kidding.
Do you really?
Fuck it. No, not at all.
What do you not like about it?
I would not want.
Pants look like mummy wraps.
I don't want Raiden in this game. No, we're not gonna rhyme.
I feel
Fuck
like
him.
the mummy wrap pants are actually okay to me. Like, that's the one part I kind of like because it looks sort of like I've seen like monks who just wrap their legs, and that's what they wear for pants, and it's kind of it's a thing.
Maybe if the mummy
like, it
wrap
actually
was
looks like an
around
Asian
chest
martial artist kind of thing.
Like, maybe if the mummy wraps were actually around his chest and arms, there'd be more continuity. I could maybe deal with this a little bit better, but it's like there's just not enough of it.
I just feel
like they match the wristbands, but there's just...
I don't like his
It
hat.
feels like they were designing him from the feet up and they were just going the wrong way. The hat's
I like the color of it, but the hat is awkward.
I don't like that it's made out of like porcelain,
around it,
and I don't like that it looks like it has like a point at the top. Like it looks like it actually has a spike at the top. I don't know. To me, that looks like something you flip over, or it looks like a nipple. Like it looks like a nipple that's coming off. Like that is that is a nipple cover.
It looks like even his hat is wearing like a skin-tight layer of clothing.
I know. It's just I'm not even a fan of a lot of Raiden's hats other than the base. Like, I love his classic straw hat. Like, that is, to me, Raiden. All these hats that they've done through Deadly Alliance and Deception, and they brought into, in the later games, even the MK9 and MKX versions, where it's, like, parted off. I don't like those. I like classic Raiden straw hat, so that better be one of the gears, first of all. That better be one of the gear options, because that sucks. That's like when you've had a character for too long and you just, what do we do this time? I don't know, go with the nipple one. Fuck it. Like, to me, I just don't... It's got, like, the gold brim on it, like Kung Lao, and it's got the weird blue texture, like you guys said. It's got that point to it, like a nipple. I don't know. I just...
Stop saying nipple.
Nipple.
And it's like attached to his face. I mean, that's what part of the goggles thing that you're talking about. The part of the goggles looks like it's attached to the hat. Like, he puts the hat on and it brings the goggles over his face. Like, to me, it just... This is Raiden from the future, where, like you said, it's like a land of male strippers. I don't like it. It just... Nothing about this is what I want. It's not my Raiden. It's not my Raiden. Okay, it's not my president. It's not my Raiden. So this is just not my...
The Tron costume looked better.
No, it did. It did.
Fucking Tron costume.
I agree. To me, I did not want Raiden in this game. I really didn't. And it's not because it's Raiden. It's because we already got Sub-Zero. We don't need both MK characters. I could go on another soapbox about guest characters and how we didn't need both MK characters. I know Razor prefers to have 2 in pairs. That's fine. if you're gonna do Mortal Kombat,
Raiden is not exactly a classic matchup.
Sure. And to me, it's just like we get enough of these characters in Mortal Kombat. These Sub-Zero and Raiden we get in nearly every single Mortal Kombat game. It's not like it's a rare day where we get to play these guys. I don't know. I'm still unexcited because of that reason. And Sub-Zero may have never been done better, or he may have been done really well in this game, but look at Raiden. Look at him. Just look at him. Sometimes I just like to look at it, and I don't want to look at this ever again, to be honest with you.
I'd really like to stop looking at him right now, actually, if we could.
It's really the shoulder pads. I feel like if they just took off the shoulder pads, I could almost forgive everything else. But God, it's like he's wearing small houses on his fucking shoulders, and it just fucking looks weird to me. And
it's like he killed Shao Kahn and took off the spikes.
You could play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on those motherfuckers.
Tony Hawk's Pro
Skater. They're gigantic.
Those are like half pipes on each one of them. It looks like he's wearing a skateboard. Right, it looks like he's wearing a skateboard on his shoulders.
Is anyone else like hearing the theme from Jet Set Radio or various songs while looking at this? She's a magical girl. Okay, this is no longer worth talking about. I'm gonna go play some Jet Set Radio. Bye, folks.
And then it looks like, add into all of it, it looks like he has some sort of weird championship belt on, and is like, look at that big gold belt buckle that he has, and it looks like it has some design on it. I don't know. It's just weird.
I think it's kanji. I think there's just Asian writing on there. I don't mind. The belt is like, I would expect that belt in a Mortal Kombat game. The belt is perfectly normal to me.
And are those skulls? Are those like little golden skulls that he has tied to the rope that's around his waist? What are those little?
I was just assuming they're like Akuma beads. I didn't.
It's possible.
They could be skulls. That would be weird.
They do seem to have a bit more detail.
Yeah, it looks like skulls. Like it looks like they have eye holes like that. Like engraved eyes part. Like they go in. Like, I don't know. To me.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, you're right. Let me screen cap this. One second.
Like I'm looking at that picture you put in the Skype, and it looks like there's 2 indents where the eyes should be, and you even get kind of an overall skull shape on the one that's like turned sideways, like the one on the right side. You kind of look like a jawline. Like, I don't know. It's just fucking... If those are skulls, whatever. I guess we got skulls going on for Raiden. Why not? Sub-Zero's got skulls for his knee pads. Why not give Raiden...
God.
It goes well with the Elton John cowl.
Make it stop.
Give him Elton John glasses, and I don't know what's after that, honestly.
Elton John in his gaudiest fucking day looked 8 times better than this.
I think he should be riding a skateboard.
Between Raiden's brow...
Well, that'd be too close to Static Shock, so you don't want to make the people angry.
That's true.
So, from Raiden's brow to his chin, he looks like an Injustice character. And then the rest of him is not at all like the art style of this game.
It's almost...
But it's not good either.
I don't know, like I get like an Aladdin vibe with that open chest area that you guys have been talking about, and the shoulder sashes that come down. It's like almost like Prince of Persia or something like that. I don't know. That's what I'm getting.
Prince of Persia wore chaps.
Hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you let me through. Johnny bought a car.
So weird.
I will say this though, before someone in the comments is like, "You guys do know there's a gear system, right?" Well, yeah, but I mean, the gear isn't a guarantee. It didn't save Captain Cold. It didn't save Aquaman. It did wonders for, I think, like Starfire looks good, Sub-Zero looks good, but you can't. That is not a guarantee.
Also,
he probably will look better, but we'll see.
So I've stopped playing the game, and the reason is that I'm tired of playing 20 hours trying to unlock gear that makes the characters look
That's the thing.
I just stopped worrying about gear. Yeah, I just don't
There's a gear system, but I've got a fucking 9-to-5 job, and I don't have 88 hours a week to dedicate to trying to get a fucking kneecap to look better.
Well,
all
shit,
right?
you have to dedicate that time just to manage the gear system, let alone try and get
if you want me to participate in the only good thing about your game, don't make that thing a grind.
Also,
that just ruins it.
Here's my problem with having the gear system be in your saving grace, as if Raiden has a biopic on the website, it's going to be his base form, and that's what you're getting. So say you want to make a cool arcade stick art, that's what you're using right there, that base form, that render. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, that's Raiden. He can just teleport his ass on out of here. And we'll move on to Hellboy. I will start off with Hellboy here because I will make clear, I've been saying, I mean, I'm a little surprised we got Hellboy because obviously the most common one that we've expected was going to be like Spawn if we're going to get another guest character. But I remember saying I've always preferred Hellboy over Spawn. You can go back through the record books and I said that I preferred Hellboy. Hell, I voted for Hellboy when Ed Boon put up his poll where there was Spawn, Hellboy. What the hell were the other two? I know Buckner. I'm trying to remember the other one.
It was Neo from the Matrix, or was that an MKX one?
I think that was a different one. I don't know. Either way, there was a guest character. Oh, Terminator was it? Terminator. And I voted for Hellboy because, to me, I like the Hellboy movies. I have some of the Hellboy comics. Hellboy, to me, would have been the coolest. So I'm happy to see him. I'll say that from first off. And it makes a lot of sense because we know we're getting that Hellboy reboot. So this makes a lot of sense to tie in. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see him in the trailer show up and catch that rocket. So, I mean, I was super tired because it was shown like early in the morning. So I was like, oh, Hellboy, that's cool. But I'm going to go back to sleep now for work. But I'm happy to see him, yeah.
I never believed he was in the running. This took me completely by surprise.
Yep.
In a pleasant way, because who the fuck cares about Spawn in the year 2017? I don't get that.
Thank you.
A lot of people, apparently. I don't know.
Okay.
I like Spawn.
To be fair, the two people that kind of matter a lot care about Spawn, and that's Ed Boon and that's Todd McFarlane.
Well,
but thankfully they don't get to call all the shots.
No, Todd McFarlane is irrelevant to modern culture. He hasn't done anything in like 20 years.
Todd McFarlane's a myth.
He makes figurines that you buy at the comic book store. That's all he does now. He's not
likes to live in that myth.
Guy anymore.
Sometimes he does variant covers. They're usually of impossible proportions, a la Spider-Man.
Like, I read Image comics, and like, Todd is not in any of them. He has nothing to do. Yeah. Isn't Robert Kirkman in charge of Image these days?
Who the fuck cares?
I don't know.
But anyway,
I have not read Spawn since like 2003.
I don't dislike the character of Spawn. I feel like talking about Spawn is like talking about the New Kids on the Block. It's not a thing anymore.
Didn't they announce like a reboot movie?
They've been trying, like, it's been in development hell for like 6 or 7 years now. And there are all these like rumors about it, or The Crow, or some shit. It's like it was going to be like a detective thing. You're never actually going to see him, or maybe that was actually The Crow. I don't know.
Yeah, according to McFarlane, there is a script for a Spawn movie, and it's basically Sam and Twitch.
I would see that. Honestly, I would honestly go see that.
Spawn is sort of a scary character in it who occasionally appears, but it's not from his point of view.
Fuck Spawn. Let's talk about Hellboy. Fuck him.
Sam and Twitch were pretty cool, though.
So my thing about Hellboy is, I think it's cool that he looks like all blocky in Mignola's art style, but how does that fit at all with the aesthetic of the rest of the game? Like, how come they're willing to make him look how he's supposed to look, but everybody else they design has to be shitty Injustice costumes?
Maybe it was a Star Wars Clone Wars kind of art style to me.
Maybe it was a stipulation from Mignola. I'm going to let you guys do this, but you're going to leave it the fuck alone. And you know what? Fine. I'm okay with this.
There's precedent to make Hellboy look photorealistic. You just make him look like he does in the Ron Perlman movies. So the fact that they chose to make him look like the comics Hellboy, all blocky and stuff, says to me that it is possible to convince them to not design a character for Injustice like in Injustice's art style. And if that's possible, then why haven't we been getting that for the whole roster, damn it?
I love his giant doom fist. I love it. Give it to me. I'm taking that fist, guys.
He almost makes me want to smoke again. Almost. He looks cool.
What the fuck happened? Okay. That's good. That's not a good thing.
I think you can handle it.
I'm gonna censor
I know
that.
where he's coming from.
I'm gonna censor that cigarette out of that mouth.
Honestly, I'm surprised he's smoking the cigarette. I really kind of am.
I think it's awesome.
It's a trademark, but
Well,
Like-
I mean, they've got Jack smoking cigars in MKX, so obviously NetherRealm doesn't care about, like, not promoting smoking or whatever.
We have insane
Lobo-
violence.
Lobo
It is-
We have insane violence, but we're gonna draw the line at smoking.
It's Marvel where they do have the mat on for like not having anyone smoke anymore. Like they had JJ quit, they had Wolverine quit, I think.
Well, Joe Quesada, when he became editor-in-chief, that was one of his big things he forced on their company because his dad died of lung cancer or something like that, which I understand, but
Yeah.
it is weird to just go, nobody can ever do this thing again because I say so.
With Wolverine especially, I feel like Wolverine should drink. He should smoke.
Yeah,
He's
Wolverine
unhappy and he's
doesn't have to
immortal.
worry about cancer. He hasn't.
I feel like if it was that easy to make people not do something because you don't like it, my life would be a lot happier.
Yeah. All the smoking, heroin, gone.
Honestly, like, it's more of a problem, like, by saying Wolverine can't smoke because kids will be influenced by Wolverine. What you're saying is that you're bad at marketing Wolverine. Children shouldn't be reading books about Logan.
But back to
Because-
Hellboy, he looks fucking cool. He looks like a badass. I want to take that fist. It's really going to depend on his play style, whether I give him a go. He is a character I wanted. I don't even remember if I put him on my DLC list, but in terms of guest characters, he was, if not top of the line, I know he was up there for me in terms of guest characters. So,
Did a single one of us have this as a possibility for a guest character? Did we have any of us four actually ever brought this guy up? Because I know I did.
I did.
Did you?
I brought up Hellboy. Like I said, he's out of all the guest characters, he's the one that I said I'd actually like. So
I never really imagined that they'd even be in talks with any, like...
Yeah, that's the thing. I figured like
indie-
rights would kill this right off.
WB's making the new reboot, right? Are they?
Are they?
I don't know.
I have no idea what's going on with that movie. I stopped following it when I heard it wasn't Ron Perlman.
But
That's
it's going to
a
be the
damn
guy
shame.
from Stranger Things. He's good.
He's not Ron Perlman, man.
Look, we need.
Whatever.
Here's the question that's on everyone's minds. Will his super involve a monkey with a gun coming out of nowhere and Hellboy screaming, "He's got a gun!"
That would be tight.
You all know
I
those
dig it.
three panels. Those three panels are fucking legendary.
I just can't wait for his ending. You know, it's got to have like Ape Sapien and Liz and all that good stuff.
I
That'd
want
be
his
great.
super to be like, he punches them into space and the fucking crystal Cthulhu things from his lore are up there. The Ogru Jihad or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta get me some Hellboy trade paperbacks. I'm overdue.
Yeah, I've got like the first couple. I'm pretty sure. What the hell is that? Hellboy Volume 1, and it's fucking huge. They are huge books. I got the hardback. It was good. Anyway,
Good stuff.
yeah, Hellboy's good. Yeah. I remember because yes, whether anybody mentioned him, I remember mentioning him. I remember mentioning a Ninja Turtle. I don't know who the hell else I mentioned. I wasn't really digging Spawn. I wanted Hellboy, so I was happy that out of all the people on that fucking poll, that Hellboy was the one to be included. I wanted him in. I didn't expect him to be in, so this was a nice surprise when I saw him. If it would have been Spawn, I would have been like, wow, this is the most predictable fighter pack I've ever seen anywhere. Like, all three of them were easy to guess, so I was definitely happy to see Hellboy.
My question is, if Terminator had won that poll or was at all a possibility, I mean, could they get Arnold to do the voice, or would they get like a... Because the Terminators never really had like...
If they didn't get Ron Perlman,
Nobody
I can't
ever brings
imagine...
in Arnold imitators for anything. Like, they always either don't do the T-800 or they get Arnold.
I don't know. Maybe Arnold works for Circus Peanuts these days. Who knows? I'll give me the peanut.
I was picturing it in my head as you said it.
If you'll just give me the peanuts, you can use my lines for this new Terminator movie.
I'll defend Spawn here. I read the first 10 issues of Spawn, loved them, and never read it ever again. I watched the HBO cartoon. I am not the biggest fan of Spawn. I have no desire to really see a movie or a show or read a comic, but I love, as a fighting game function, I like the cape and I like the chains. So as a fighting game player, I would have picked Spawn of the two. I like Hellboy. Actually, it's funny. I don't like the first Hellboy. I really like the second movie a lot.
Man, I like them
Wow,
both.
you're a freak.
Yeah, I loved them. I loved them both, but the first one that's where it's at.
I could not stand the second one. The second one put me the hell to sleep.
That was the one with the weird like elf people from like the past. Yeah.
Twins and the gold. I liked it a lot. I actually really have a soft spot for that movie, but I just the cape and the chains. And I know why they didn't do it because they could have done if they want to, but no one wants to animate that cape. No one wants to animate any of his magic effects. It would be a gigantic pain in the ass. When he was in Soul Calibur and just spawned the game, they had to fucking get rid of that cape because it was too much of a pain in the ass. So, sure. I don't know. I would have rather had Spawn. Do I like Hellboy? I like the surprise of Hellboy. I'm like, oh, sick! I didn't see that coming. That's really cool. So that aspect I like. Do I want to play as him? I mean, we'll see. I'm not super excited. I did not want this many guest characters. So he's the least offensive. I would have been super disappointed if it was like Rorschach or any Watchmen character. That would have been so disappointing to me.
I like Rorschach. I would have taken Watchmen, but at this point, I don't want any more guest characters here. I really don't.
I still think Rorschach's coming. I think this was the big guy silhouette. I think that was Hellboy, and Rorschach would be next.
No, because you can see the horns in the silhouette. Let me get it out for you.
Oh, you can?
You get it out for him, buddy.
This is me laying Azrael to rest very sadly.
Mm.
I know, unpopular opinion.
I don't think this was the big one either. I'm with Temp on this one. I think he was the one on the... Either that or the silhouettes were vague, but they weren't exact. That is my other theory, is that they were not exact representations, unless it was Raiden and the other one. Anyways.
Yeah, you can actually see the horns, because my guess before we found out it was Hellboy was that silhouette on the left side and the far right. I thought that was Cat Cosplay Cabal. So now that I know it's Hellboy, that makes a lot more sense.
That's the one that I thought it was. That's the one next to Manta there, in between Manta and Sub-Zero. That's the one that I thought they were showing off. That was Hellboy. That was my interpretation.
I was surprised when we saw Raiden, because I thought we were going to get the Atom almost for sure.
Yeah, me too. And I wonder why we didn't. I wonder why they restructured the pack.
I imagine they put Raiden in this pack just to get it over with, because Ed's tired of people on Twitter going, "Please don't."
That's possible.
That's
why already, then it'll be behind them.
Exactly.
There's also the fact that between Black Manta and Raiden, everyone has known these are coming for the longest fucking time now. So
I didn't
just
sneeze.
get the non-surprise out of the way too. And something else, actually, Black Manta's silhouette there. The head of that silhouette is nowhere near as big as the appearance in the video is.
Yeah,
they trimmed that head down.
I agree.
I think, that's what I'm saying. I just think the silhouettes. I mean, if you look at the Raiden silhouette, look at his shoulder guards, for God's sakes. Clearly these are placeholder silhouettes. They're there to give you an idea of who the character is. It's not necessarily what the character is actually going to be. So I think Manta, that's a placeholder silhouette. Raiden's a placeholder silhouette. Same with the others, I'm sure. So when it comes to who they actually are, the other ones could be anything. That doesn't necessarily mean the other one's Enchantress, just because it might look like it. It's just there to give you an idea. So is it likely to be Enchantress?
I am almost positive that's not Enchantress, but yeah, go on.
Anyways, I just think they're...
see the moon on her head.
Well, I know. I'm just saying I don't necessarily think that's 100%. I think the only ones that we were supposed to 100% guess who they were was Raiden and Manta. The other ones were supposed to remain vague enough.
I don't want to encourage speculation. I think that...
I agree. I do agree.
I don't want to encourage enjoying Christmas. I don't want to encourage that.
Because then people get disappointed when it's not their wild left field guess.
Well, there's a difference between speculating and expecting your speculation. There is a big difference.
I don't know. I really think the healthiest thing for a person to do is sit down, shut up, and accept that the next ones are Adam, Enchantress, and Rorschach.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but
please let me believe in question.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. I'm with you on that one. Whether it's fucking whichever version of the question, I don't give a fuck. Anyways. Okay, well, Hellboy, yeah, that's cool. We got Hellboy. I think we're all digging Hellboy. Good. That only
I
leads.
want to play this. I really do.
That only leads. Yeah, I want to see his gameplay. Honestly, I want to see that Doomfist used well, and I want to see him use his Good Samaritan and all that goodness. Have some nice quips and badass lines, of course. But yeah, I'm really, now that we've gotten these 3 shown off, now I'm curious who the 3 remaining are. We can almost guarantee one of them's Adam. The female is still debatable. It's likely to be Enchantress, but it's still up for debate. And then the last one, please, for the love of God, don't be another guest character. We don't need 4 out of 9, but I mean, let's not put it past them at this point. They did that with 4 out of 8.
Fat Warshak.
3 games now.
I mean, it's not going to surprise me if it's Spawn. Like, if they didn't just save Spawn for the end for people like, please have Spawn. Like, they wanted to hold off to make people think that he wasn't there, only to... And then you have your, like, Razor mentioned combos, then you could have your Hellboy and Spawn face off. Not like that's like a combo, but you know what I mean? Like 2 popular guest characters.
Has there really been a pack of DLC since MK9 that has not included at least 1 guest character?
No.
On a certain level, I don't know why we care. Like, I don't know what the point of being upset or campaigning for a specific character with this game's DLC is, because it doesn't matter. Like, with MK, when you campaign for a character DLC, it's like, it's sort of a vote for, hey, NetherRealm, we care about this 3D guy. Please put the, not just in DLC, but also in more stuff in general. But with the Injustice series, this is third-party shit. That doesn't matter.
I didn't say live or die by it.
We're all here for the combat.
Like, whoever the DLC for this game is has no bearing on who's going to be in Injustice 3, or who's going to be more popular in the DC universe in the comics, or anything like that. It doesn't do anything except give you another person to play as during the late stages of this game when it's going to be dying.
I disagree partly. Because I think if it's a character you bring in, if it was like a Dr. Fate, for example, if you brought that in and people are like, oh, who's this character? This character's really awesome. I love this character. That could raise that character's stock to be more in more comics or in more mediums. Go ahead.
I think all the DC characters who are in a position to benefit like that are already in this game. The only character I can think of in the entire DC universe who needs more exposure and isn't getting it
is Kite Man.
Cassandra Cain.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Not in the running.
On paper, I think Razor's right, and I'll even take it a step further where I don't want my favorite characters to be DLC, because I don't like the historical treatment of DLC characters. I don't want Spectre to show up and then be completely irrelevant in the next installment. I didn't even want Starfire for that reason, and I'll be absolutely heartbroken if Starfire is on the next one, which she probably won't be. I'm still not over how great that character is. It's my favorite designed, gameplay, and visually designed character in the game, and
I think,
like, oh god, they did such a great job on her, and I don't think she's coming back, which makes me not want Spectre as DLC. You know, what's up?
I think with Starfire, she's a perfect fit for DLC because she's obviously someone who people want, but there's no possible way that she's actually in the lore. Like, she is definitely in the Phantom Zone, canonically. Her presence in this game does not count.
But I thought, because the annual? What didn't that happen in the annual? I mean, and also, isn't the comics just non-canon in general? I mean, I feel like the whole comics are suspect now, so I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, no, because Cyborg's ending at least confirms that the Titans are in the Phantom Zone.
I may have never seen that. But that is a good point. Well, shit.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Well, shit.
So I think DLC.
Hey, I've got nothing else.
I got one more thing, but go on, Razor.
I think DLC is perfect for taking characters who they can't use in the story, but who still have a big enough fan base.
I mean, mostly agree with that. Sure. I think
But
that's
again,
the good
like, I
idea
can't
of
really-
DLC is people that sell well, but they don't necessarily need in the story.
Yeah, but I can't think of anybody who's really, besides the Titans, who really fits that spot. Like,
To me, in this game, if you look at story mode, Atrocitus, Dr. Fate, and Swamp Thing could have all technically been DLC. I mean, they weren't really needed there. And as DLC,
Etrigan.
they probably would
Put
have
in
been better
Etrigan.
treated. So I agree with that. Etrigan would be a good one. Hell, the big guy could be Etrigan when it all breaks down to who knows. But I'm still curious, at the very least, who is in the third pack. I want another female fighter. I'm still pulling for Katana. That is the one that I feel like would get me hyped. But at this point, I'm not crossing my fingers for anybody for Fighter Pack 3. I'll be pleasantly surprised if there is somebody in there that I like. Otherwise, maybe they'll make Adam interesting. Maybe they'll make Enchantress interesting. I don't know. And then the other guy, maybe we'll get fucking Johnny Cage. I don't know at this point.
I'd play Johnny Cage, actually.
I might take up
I
the
think they
game
could do a good job on
strong again.
Like,
to play
there-
as Johnny Cage.
There are times I wish I had a smartphone so I could play as Johnny in that WWE game.
Damn it. You're just like sitting there like, I really feel like I need to play Johnny Cage right now. Get my fix.
Honestly, Johnny needs to be in a lot more things just across the spectrum of human culture.
Yeah, he's a good fit.
All right, on that note, Temp, go. What you said you had something
I was
else
going
to
to
address.
say, like, I feel like the groundwork has been fully set to do a non-Mortal Kombat Justice fighting game. So, one reason to kind of root for DLC, if you want Spectre, one reason why you may want him to be DLC is it may not be 4 years to the next game, maybe 5 and maybe 6. I feel like there's a strong possibility of the horror fighting game actually becoming a reality. I feel like in terms of just like companies realizing they can make money off their properties that haven't been making any actual money for over a decade, I feel like that groundwork is finally set. And with Robert Englund doing the Injustice cast and Freddy being like a guest character in MK9, I feel like the demand is I mean,
And you
people
get
are
the guy
buying
from
this shit.
Reanimator, Jeffrey Combs, in there as
That's
well.
true, yes. I think it's coming. I don't know how soon. I would say within the next 4 years, we are going to see a fighting game based on the horror franchises. And I think...
Give
I
me
don't know, I think it'd be
Pennywise.
interesting.
Give me Pennywise. I'll say it now. I'm in the It mood with the new movie. Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm prepped for that too.
everyone-
I'm watching that day one.
Every single person who's come out of an advanced screening for that's calling it a modern day horror classic.
Really? That is awesome.
Yeah. The buzz about it is insanely strong.
That
from all
makes
the
me
preview-
happy to
word of
hear.
mouth.
My wife is reading the
That
book
is-
again. She's read it before, but she's reading the book again now. I'm considering listening to it on tape because I can't read books worth shit, so I might listen to it on tape. But I
Well, Stephen
that
King
scared the
especially.
shit out of me when I was younger. That original movie, even though as goofy as it looks now, that scared the fuck out of me when I was younger. So I'm excited for this.
I think it is one of those stories that's better as a movie because the Stephen King book is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's got some weird things.
It's
as
sort of
I've-
I
as
love
I've
the
researched.
book,
like
but
how
I
King
think
himself hates the Jack Nicholson Shining, but it's a great fucking movie.
I think we all know what thing we're talking about that's really weird towards the end of the It
Yes,
novel.
yes, yeah.
And
Oh,
for God's sake, they
They're
can't
not.
put that
They're not doing
They're-
it. I've already heard that they're not going to put that in the movie.
good.
They would not.
Because,
that
like,
would be way
that-
too controversial.
Me and Stephen King movies and books have a problem where it's like, I'm really into this, I'm loving this is wonderful. Now I'm 20 pages toward the end and you have just shit the bed, son. What the fuck is this? The
But yes.
Stand Definitive Edition. And then a giant hand came down and pressed the button and everyone died. The end. Fuck you! And I'm reading the Dark Tower books right now the first time in my life. I'll be pissed off if this shit happens in book fucking 7. Anyway, that said, I too love the original It, and I'm very excited for this. Caveat, y'all know it's going to be 2 films, right? This movie here
Well, it has to be.
this movie here is about like the kids and their time in the sewers, and the next one will
Interesting.
be them as
As
adults.
That'd be cool. I
This is-
dig it.
this
Yeah.
is two-
It makes
I like
sense.
that,
Makes
actually.
sense. Yeah, I think that would be a better way to go. But yeah, Temp's original point of a horror fight, I wouldn't mind it as long as they can get the licenses. I think seeing the backgrounds, like being able to play in Haddonfield or Crystal Lake and stuff like that, or in a boiler room, like that, it has a lot of potential to be really awesome if done right. If they make it different from Mortal Kombat and they make it different from Injustice and they make it somehow play differently, I'd be accepting towards it. It'd be fun for all of us to be like, who are you gonna main? You gonna main Michael Myers? You gonna main Jason? I don't know. I love the idea of it, or Pennywise, or any of those characters being added in. I'd love to see how they do it, what style and what spin they put on it. So
I think everyone has secretly picked their mains, like, honestly. But go on, yeah.
Well, my only point of contention is in Razor. This was actually recently brought up on the Facebook group. Somebody asked about this, and Razor and I were both in agreement that the issue that you're going to run into beyond licenses is going to be the biggest issue. But the second biggest issue is the amount of characters you could add to that is going to start to fall like rapidly after you hit the main one. So you're going to get your Jasons, your Michael Myers. Now you could take a spin and go beyond like 80s slashers, and you could go back to like Frankenstein and Dracula if you want to throw in like classic movie monsters.
I feel like that's an entire different concept.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's different, but how far down that road you go? Are you going to go to Candyman? Are you going to go to like this? Obviously, you throw Ghostface in there, but like Candyman, are you going to go to like your Leprechauns and your C and D tiers? Like how far?
I think so. I go all the way to Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
Well, also, there's another solution to that. Add the protagonist
on like a tricycle. That'd be great.
I'm not playing unless you give me Leprechaun and Candyman. Thank you. Good night.
I mean, I'll play anything if it's got Ash Williams in it.
Ash, you gotta throw Ash in there. You gotta get
paid some bad things just because they were Evil Dead games.
It'd be worth thinking about. I think it would be worth doing an episode where we kind of like brainstorm who all you could actually throw on a roster of like 25 characters. Because you gotta, unless you make it like enough, you can't. I feel like you can't release a fighting game at this point with 15 characters. So at that point,
there's only like 10 good horror movies ever.
So I think that's good is besides the point when it comes to horror movies. Like, let's be fair, most of them are just dog shit.
Here's
what I would do.
It's the imagery that matters and really counts.
What I actually think would be really cool is if you took 2 characters from every movie, put the slasher in, and then put like the most famous victim, like you have like Michael Myers, and then you have Laurie, you have Jason, and then you have Tommy Jarvis.
Who the fuck is going to play as
the
Laurie?
Dream Warriors, absolutely.
Well, she fucking won in the movie, didn't she?
Dude, everyone would main McGrady from The Thing. Like, that would be one of the most popular characters.
Give me Doc Loomis.
Okay, it could be Laurie, or it could be Dr. Loomis. That would be... I'd play Loomis. I would main Loomis.
It's Laurie Loomis. It's just both of them.
Yeah, we just have hybrids.
Yeah, like
Nano Loomis.
But you can call Laurie in as a striker.
I don't know. I think it would be cool. I'd be down for it. Obviously, I'm a horror fan, so I'd be down for that concept. That's just the biggest thing I worry about is after you get past the licensing issue, which is it's going to be its own nightmare.
I don't think it will be. I honestly don't think it will. I think a lot of those companies are just not making money off those properties right now. So I think it's easy, though. Yeah. But go on, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not... Well, I should say it's not impossible because we have seen Michael Myers in Call of Duty. He was one... Like, they had a side mode where you could play as Michael Myers.
He's in some game now to... Dead by Daylight or whatever it's called. It's like the Friday the 13th
Yep, you're right. Dead by Daylight used him as well recently. And then we have Jason, we have Freddy, we've had Predator, we've had Alien, or Xenomorph, we've had...
Leatherface,
yes. So I don't think it's impossible to run them up. It's just, it's really how willing are they going to open up their spending account, basically. How big of a budget are they going to give to allow them to... Because I think you're right in the sense that it's not impossible to acquire these licenses. It's just how much are they going to be willing to spend and share some of that money to get the licenses. So
if I can't,
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I feel like it's
Well, my feeling is
I do like bees.
I'm just saying you're wasting money if I can't throw bees around.
That could be a fucking character, dude.
Like, are we gonna get the damn like fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer? Like, how deep down this well are we going?
Some asshole with
I think so. I think that'd be cool.
Did that guy have a fucking name?
So then, okay,
I'm pretty sure his name is the Fisherman.
Yes, I think that is.
Holy
If we go down that rabbit hole, though, if we go to those depths, then you gotta have a level of cheese to this game, I feel like. I don't know if you can sell a game where it's like the fisherman. Like, you gotta have some humor to this. You gotta have some self-deprecating humor that you realize that this is just good fun.
Like the Shao Kahn announcer voice. The fisher.
I feel like the biggest problem with Mortal Kombat story modes is that they are taking them too seriously. Like, Johnny was the best part of MK9 because he was the guy who was going like, this is stupid.
You're right. It should be more like...
The best part of the MKX comic is Fujin standing in the background going, Raiden, that's a dumb idea.
You're right. It should be more like Big Trouble in Little China. I don't think you're going to get any argument here. But...
I just think that, like, the story mode, it would just be a lot of fun. I don't think they would try to take it seriously. I think a big portion of story mode would just be like Leatherface and Jason trying to open the Hellraiser box and not being able to do it. Like, shit like that. That would be fun.
Okay, yeah.
Try stabbing it some more. No, stab up, stupid.
All right.
Fucking Leatherface gets on his first try. I don't know.
All right, you've got me intrigued here, so let me pull
I
open...
believe that it is possible to actually tell a serious MK story.
If you've ever
it is
the second Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, the second comic series, the Nightmare Warriors, it is gloriously retarded.
That sounds great. That sounds fantastic.
Just do that with more characters.
All right, let's go down. I've got a notepad open. Let's go down and name as many relevant characters one by one that we feel like would actually make a reasonable pick in this game. So we have Jason, we have Freddy, we have Ash. We have Michael Myers. We'll hit the top ones that we can think of here.
Chucky,
Pumpkinhead.
Leatherface.
So we have Leatherface. We have Predator. We have Xenomorph or Alien. We have
Pumpkinhead.
Horror?
So
if those count as horror, then Terminator counts as horror, because the first one was a horror movie.
I think so. Terminator.
I would honestly leave Alien and Predator off till the very end if you had to. I don't consider those slasher characters. I consider those.
Yeah, like
they're horror though. Those are horror characters.
The DLC.
I think Predator, definitely a Xenomorph is definitely a horror character, whereas Predator and Terminator, I think they're kind of on the fence, but.
There's a business relationship with the Predator people, though, so I feel like he has to be in there if Warner Brothers is making the game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he fits.
I'm looking at this from like a schlocky slasher perspective, and if you ask me, neither Predator or Alien fit this. I'm thinking of like teenagers being killed for having sex characters, you know? Shit like that.
I mean,
Alien's a creature feature, so I feel like you have to put it on there.
Yeah, I see it as broader than that. I feel like you're gonna have Predator fighting Jason or something. Like, I feel like that's.
Okay, well,
that's
what about the Gremlin?
Well, we gotta. I don't know.
Well, like maybe 3 gremlins, like they're staying on top of each other's shoulders,
or maybe
this
one of
is
those,
already
like,
the best character in the game.
It's sort of like Ferrator, but they're all the same size.
Or maybe one of those like evolved gremlins from Gremlins 2.
The one with the
spider
breasts
gremlin,
is on top, the female one.
Okay, well, let's keep going. We're gonna skip Gremlins for now, so we'll do Pennywise.
Did you get Ghostface?
This project's already doomed to
We'll get Pennywise. We'll get Ghostface. Because you could do like shapeshifting with Pennywise. Could be cool. What'd you say?
I would say fucking Isaac from Children of the Corn.
Dear God, we are really going down there.
Let's do it.
Did you put
This is what we were talking about how quickly you have to reach.
I know.
Did you put Candyman on there?
I'm trying to like start high and then go to the bottom of the barrel. We're like jumping right to Isaac. I feel like we're getting there
let's
too
go
soon.
back. Did you get Pinhead?
Pinhead, there we go. There we go.
Pinhead should be like number fucking 3.
Yeah,
honestly.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like Pinhead, you have Ghostface, you have Freddy, you have Ash.
Chucky goes up there.
We've got Chucky. So I'll hold off on a Xenomorph and Predator and put them towards lower end on the list here, just so we keep.
Does Jeepers Creepers have a specific guy?
Yeah. It's I think it's just
it's called
the
the
Creeper.
Creeper or something?
Yeah.
Creeper? Okay.
So that's a good one. That's a more modern one. So that's a good pick. I could see that making it.
Did you get Jigsaw? Or
Leatherface?
How do we do
Leatherface
Jigsaw
through the
though?
top.
It can't be that little dummy.
It could. Well, the dummy could be like the Cabal, like wheel, and like the actual character is the pig face, or it's like pig face Jigsaw, and like I don't know. They're like it's like Noob Smoke. I don't know. Saw, but not Saw.
It's like Ferrator. How about that?
Okay, yeah, that would be cool.
Okay. Do we throw Leprechaun at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, wait.
Dude,
How
Warwick
about...
Davis, man? Yeah.
I have a suggestion. This is a weird one. How about Kevin Bacon from Tremors as the character, and the Graboid is a stage fatality?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Okay,
Valentine,
I'm gonna
yeah, that
put
would be-
Kevin Bacon as like the lowest part on this list so far.
Well, it wasn't actually Kevin Bacon. It was hang on. Who the fuck was it?
No, it's Kevin Bacon, right?
Well, Kevin
No,
Bacon was in the first one.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
was a
you're thinking.
recurring
Oh,
character.
yeah. Kevin Bacon wouldn't be. You'd put Bert. You put Bert.
Okay, yeah,
from
yeah,
the-
it was Kevin
Which
Bacon.
is Michael Gross. He was the like recurring character throughout all the Tremors movies. The guy with like the gun fetish.
Although Kevin Bacon is coming back for the series.
It's true.
I didn't know. Well, you know, Tremors 2 is actually very underrated. I really like that movie.
I'll put
A
Bert
Tremor
or
with-
Kevin
and I
Bacon.
love Bird as well.
Yeah.
A Tremor with Kevin Bacon's face instead.
What the fuck? Okay, I mean, what the fuck is happening here? Candyman.
Critters.
I'm just going for
I'll put them
maximum
in.
ants-shitting potential here.
Can we think
I
of
always
any
found
other
Kevin
actual
Bacon's
horror
face scary.
icons? We're trying to stick to like the killers, the horror icons here.
Did you
Well,
put
when you post
Candyman
your
on
list
there?
in the chat, we'll see if we're missing anything.
So here we go. We got Jason, and I'll put it in the chat. We got Jason, Freddy, Ash, Michael Myers, Leatherface. I've been trying to go in order of like relevance first. Chucky, Pennywise, Ghostface, Pinhead, Creeper, Leprechaun, Candyman, Saw, Isaac, Predator, Xenomorph, Terminator, Bird, or Kevin Bacon. God damn it.
I would say Wishmaster should be in that list for sure.
We could do like Pumpkinhead. Somebody said Pumpkinhead earlier.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah, you have to have Pumpkinhead.
Oh, we could have along with the tiny characters because we've had Leprechaun and we've had Chucky.
Herbert West.
Well, I was gonna also
Herbert
say
West.
I was gonna say with the shorter characters they can have another one. We can have Sam from Trick or Treat.
Yep.
He's cool. We can have Herbert West. Yep.
We could get
From Reanimator.
Goldberg from Santa Claus and Kane from See No Evil.
Fucking hell.
Did you put the thing on there?
Thing. There you go. Now that's gonna go up.
In
higher
my
on the list.
opinion, Thing should be the final boss. In my opinion,
You know what?
That's a
That's
good
where I
idea.
stand
Does
with
the
that.
thing look like? Are we doing like it's a dog with mouths and tentacles and shit, or is it a different form? Or
That's why I
That's
would
why,
say
yeah.
boss. The first form
It's a
is the
sub-boss
dog with
or
tentacles. The
something.
second form is like the fucking crawling shit, and the third form is the fucking giant ass thing that comes out of the ground. So that's how I feel.
So I have the boss listed as Thing, or however you want to organize that.
Final boss. Manos. The hand.
The literal hands. You have to fight the hands. Dude, he'd be like day one DLC. That would be so tight.
Okay, so we've done some stretching, we've done some reaching with Bert and Kevin Bacon, but Bert or Kevin Bacon. We have 21 characters thus far, not including the boss as the Thing.
Or the protagonist yet. We haven't thrown any protagonists in there.
I feel like the
Well-
protagonist could be like Ash plus some of the survivors.
Oh shit, Jeff Goldblum's Fly.
oh
Brundle
yeah,
Fly.
that's a good
Fly.
one. Yeah, I agree
Brundle
with that.
Fly.
The Fly.
That is fucking horror city there. That film scarred me.
The Fly, yeah, we'll add the Fly. Oh, the Ring Girl, the girl from the Ring.
Sadako
Oh,
slash
dude, that's
Samara.
right. We have the Japanese genre. Yeah.
The Grudge.
Yeah, we
The
could
Grudge.
throw that in there if we got desperate. The Ring Light.
A VHS tape.
VHS. Oh yeah. Oh,
It's her
that
projectile.
reminds
She
me.
starts chucking them at you.
That reminds me.
Well, that's-
Hatchet.
Her
Hatchet.
super move is she just makes you watch TV.
So we could do
That would be sick.
Victor Crowley from Hatchet. Victor Crowley from Hatchet. I'm trying to think of more modern ones that have been around because there's been some. Oh man, Temp, the Babadook. Dude, the fucking
Yes.
Babadook.
Oh, fucking the man with the face of fire from Insidious also would be a really good one. And fucking the Boogeyman from Sinister. I would throw those on for sure.
Boogeyman from Sinister. Man, the Babadook. That's who
Or
I'm naming,
Bagul.
dude. Fucking
Oh, dude, Babadook would be sick, dude.
Babadook would be insta-made. If I don't, he'll kill me.
I'd love to see how they animate that in the game. It would be amazing.
That would fucking
Dude,
be
that's
so
tight.
cool. Okay, so now we
shit,
fleshed it out a little bit. We're reaching like 25 now, so we're at about 25 or 26. So we've fleshed this out a little bit.
We can also do the
fuck is
bride from Insidious as well if you want to go that far about.
The crazy preacher from Poltergeist. What the fuck was his name?
Oh, the guy with he kind of looks like the tall man, but he's not the tall man.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we put the tall man on there?
Reverend Henry Kane, that's it.
Yeah, we left out Phantasm, I think, right?
Oh,
yeah, the tall man's not on the list.
Tall man. I'll add tall man.
All right.
So we're done. We got our cast.
Are we missing anybody?
After all,
are we missing anybody that's like iconic that we're forgetting over the last?
I'm almost positive we are. Like, I'm almost 100% positive we're leaving someone huge out. I just cannot think of. Well, you know what's interesting about this? Even if you took out 10 of these characters, this would still sell like gold.
Or, let's see. You got.
I guess you don't sell gold.
Well, that's
what
I was gonna say. Is what I mentioned on the Facebook group. Is I said, if you can't flesh it out with 25, say you only stick with like 16 or 15, you want to hit like the high note. You could always release like a $40 game. It doesn't have to be a full release. It could be like, take the MKX engine, throw in these dudes or the next MK engine or whatever, and make it more like half of a game, just as like a novelty.
The only character who's in Terrordrome that we haven't listed is Maniac Cop.
Yeah, I don't think I thought that was a strange choice even for Terrordrome.
Yeah.
I don't actually mind those movies, but I don't. I think that you're sinking. If you go below Isaac, you've sunk too low, in my opinion.
All right.
Unless you're doing the Blue Moon shit, because I would put I think Andre Toulon from Puppet Master. I would put him in there.
Linda Blair
actually,
from the goddamn Exorcist.
Yep.
Linda Blair from the fucking Exorcist.
Yep, Linda Blair. That's a good one.
Oh yeah. What about Carrie?
Yo, that's a good one there.
Oh, dude. Like, honestly, as a character, I couldn't give a fuck, but her gameplay would be fucking sick, dude.
Telekinetic slams all over the place.
Fucking take blood gear.
Blair Witch.
Carrie.
The Blair Witch is hard, though, because you'd just be a bunch of trees. You wouldn't see her.
Yeah.
She is more effective off-screen.
Yeah.
All her moves are like, the screen blacks out, and when it comes back, your character's standing in a corner facing towards it.
So we'll say, like, NPC...
Oh god, there's a bunch of rocks on the ground! Oh no! You'll lose health.
So we could say, like, an NPC example would be the Blair Witch. Like, she shows up in story mode, but she's not actually present. Like, you don't see her, she's just a factor. That would be cool.
I think as a stage, that would be awesome. Yes, absolutely.
If you play as the Blair Witch, the game turns first person.
Oh god, her super would be cool, but yeah.
A dual-sexed person from Sleepaway Camp just stands there with stands there with its mouth open.
What was that name? Angela? Angela, I think.
Yeah, that was actually really, like, to this day, that scene still really unnerves me, honestly.
Angela from Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway. Oh, we could do
I
like.
don't know what her move list would be, but yeah.
I was gonna say we could do like one of those people from The Strangers, like the dude with like the scarecrow-looking mask or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
And honestly, for like all the characters that we have that just don't make the cut, you could just include iconic locations from horror films, like the Well from the Ring, or like Hell House, or the Amityville Horror House as a background.
Oh yeah, There's lots of options there. See, now I want this game to exist. Like, this is
make
fun.
them NPCs. Like, Pinhead's like, we have to find the leprechaun. Like, I think that would be fun. I'd play that game.
All right. Well, we got our list here. I'll go ahead and post.
So I think this is perfectly viable and likely to happen within the next 3 to 5 years.
So I would totally be down for the horror fighter. My concern is that I feel like it's a missed opportunity if NetherRealm is just the developer that makes fighting games, and that's all they ever do forever. Like, at the very least, it would be nice to see them get a spin-off studio, the way, WB Montreal makes Rocksteady's games for them now. Like, if they had, like, a second group who could make fucking, like, beat-em-ups like a Shaolin Monk sequel,
Yeah.
I think this may even work as a platformer, Yeah, I think I think what's inevitable is NetherRealm is going to split into multiple studios. They will have to because there's too many money making projects that they just can't focus everything into Chicago anymore. I feel like they would have to split into at some point.
I'm gonna add Krampus to the list.
Okay. Did you ever watch Krampus?
No, I still need to do that. I'm gonna do that this
It's
season.
very good. I think you'll really enjoy it. If
I'll
you like
try and
Trick or
watch
Treat-
the right one this time. It's fucking ridiculous.
Zoe.
I watched like the fucking knockoff version, and I told Temp, because Temp was like, that movie was so great. And I was like, dude, that movie was fucking awful. Then I started explaining why I thought it was awful, and Temp says in the chat, dude, I think we watched 2 different movies. And I thought, like, I took that as, we watched 2 different films, man. Like, we got 2 different experiences from this. And he's like, no, literally, we watched 2 different movies. Like,
the character reference does not exist on the IMDb page.
I got like a straight to DVD version or something that had horrible effects and like the worst twist. It was so stupid.
Yeah, that's a phenomenon in the industry. Is people will make movies that resemble up and coming movies. Like Transmorphers is a big one that's famous. There's like 4 versions of War of the Worlds that came out like within a 60-day period. It's fucking crazy.
That's funny.
God, Carrie, that would be fucking fun.
Yeah.
Dude, like just fucking throwing glass and fucking punching John Travolta. I want to fucking play as that character. That's gonna be tight.
Doesn't block, can't walk backward, constantly walks forward, throws shit.
Oh man, yeah. So, and you honestly, you don't, like we were saying earlier. I think if you even cut the cast in half, people would be buying the shit out of this game. Honestly, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
God.
if you cut the fat, like the people that we didn't actually need, if you just do like the A-listers and maybe some B-listers and maybe like 1 or 2, just like very off the wall, you know, left field type picks, then you could throw out for DLC. Maybe if like the demand is there, you could add another 4 characters or something just to bolster it a little bit more. Make a story mode that's a ton of fun, that doesn't take itself too seriously. Add a ton of locations for stages. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I would prefer it to be like the fighting engine to be something completely unique to it. Just make it completely different. Go just as they made Injustice its own, make this its own thing separate from MK and Injustice. But if they couldn't, if they just want to make it like using the next MK game's engine and make it like its own little side $30 game or something with half a roster, I'd go for it. It'd be fun.
I feel like they would make it $65 just because they can. Just be like, they know people will buy it, so probably no matter what the budget is, they're probably going to pump up the price.
Sure. But all right.
That's a depressing thought, but sure, why not?
On that note, I saved our list, so if this ever does come into fruition, we can actually look back, and obviously we have this episode, so on that note, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. At that point, we should have, I think coming soon is Black Manta's actual gameplay trailer, and then he's supposed to come in September, so we'll give that some discussion next time around.
Isn't the Manta stream tomorrow?
Oh, wow, really?
I think that's soon. I thought it was like, who knows? I thought it was the 27th, which would be, no, that'd be a Sunday, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Oh, that's something to look forward to.
No, I remember hearing something about Sunday, though.
Oh, weird. Well, either way, next
check
time
it.
you hear us, we should be discussing that. And on that note, you guys take care. Adios.
Have a good
Peace.
night.
Good night.
You will never win.